Quick shout out to my patrons. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey y'all, it's Kay from the Literary Apothecary, and today we're going to talk about the Fortunes of Perkin Warbec by Mary Shelley. Now, I gave this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I'll talk about why in just a minute. Let's first talk about a spoiler-free quick summary of what happens in this book. What's the plot? So this is a historical fiction novel written by Mary Shelley. Yes, that same author of Frankenstein. She can do more than just horror and Frankenstein type of books. The Fortunes of Perkin Warbec is the life story of Perkin Warbec, a pretender to the English throne who claimed to be Richard of Shrewsbury, the second son of Edward IV, and one of the so-called princes in the Tower, in opposition to Henry VII. Quick detour, if you don't know the story of the princes in the Tower, this was a story, a legend. I don't know, haven't done enough research to know exactly how true it was or not, but the story goes that Henry VII, when he took the English throne, he locked away the two princes of Edward III, I think I've gotten that chronologically right, in the Tower of London, essentially. And they were just children, and they were the two people in England that could oppose his rule on the English throne. So he locked them away. No one knows exactly what happened to them. In Mary Shelley's book, she proposes that this is of course fiction, historical fiction novel, so not saying that this is what happened or not, but in this novel, the two princes that were locked away, one of them died and the other one was snuck out and went to live with the Warbecs and pretended to be Perkin Warbec. As he grew older, he learned his true story, his true heritage, and our novel takes us on this journey through Perkin or Richard's life. We see him fall in love, we see him fight battles, win and lose family, friends, and alliances, and I just really enjoyed this journey. Now, I gave it 4.5 and not 5 stars because I thought the beginning was a little bit hard to follow, and there were so many, so I gave this 4.5 and not 5 stars because I thought, the beginning was a little bit hard to follow as we were learning who was who and what was happening when and where. And there were plenty of times when it was hard to keep track of all of the characters. So there were so many different characters, all with similar names because that's the nature of English history. And some were changing opinions often. So it was hard at times to follow who was doing what, where, and when, and who we needed to trust and who we couldn't trust at times. But I loved the amount of research that must have taken that Mary Shelley put into this. It must have taken forever, especially considering that this book was originally published in 1830. So Mary Shelley didn't have the conveniences of the internet and modern technology that we have today, where we can look and see hundreds of different resources about just about any given topic if you look in the right places. This had an average rating on Goodreads of 3.53, which I feel like is actually a very decent rating for a book like this that's different than Mary Shelley is known for Frankenstein, obviously. Everyone knows about Frankenstein, but not too many other people, I believe, I think, have read all of her other works, which is what I'm trying to get to this year, and bring more attention to her other works, because Frankenstein is absolutely amazing, still my favorite Mary Shelley work, but I want to bring attention to the fact that she's written so many other books, and books that are so very different from Frankenstein, that her range of writing is incredible. So that's my review for The Fortunes of Perkin Warbec. I gave this, like I said, a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I thought it was a solid historical fiction book, and I can't wait to read even more Mary Shelley. So if you've read this book, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Whose side were you rooting for? Were you on Richard's side, or did you go against the grain and root for Henry? I think for me, it was, especially at the beginning, hard to go against the Tudors because I've had this obsession with the Tudor dynasty. And so I knew a lot about Henry VIII and his monarchy, but I didn't know quite so much about Henry VII, his father. But I still had that Tudor in my head. So it was hard for me at the very beginning to go against Henry VII. But in the end, I came through and I rooted for Richard. I won't tell you what happens in the end because that'll give away spoilers. But if you read this book, let me know in the comments below whose side were you on. As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. There's no pressure to join either, but we have a ton of fun at both. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.